Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am here again with another video. I thank everyone who has been watching my previous videos, and previously we've been learning about the cardiovascular system in detail. Now we'll be learning about the diseases that affect the cardiovascular system. So the first disease condition that I have taken is the coronary atherosclerosis. Now what is coronary atherosclerosis? Coronary atherosclerosis is an abnormal accumulation of lipids or fatty substances and fibrous tissue in the lining of the arterial blood vessel. Okay, and we have learned about the arterial vessel in detail in the previous video. If you haven't watched it, I suggest you please go and watch that so that you understand what we are going to talk about better. So in the lining of the arterial blood vessel walls, what happens is fats and fibrous tissue gets accumulated. Okay, now this condition is called as coronary atherosclerosis. Now what happens if this thing gets accumulated in the arterial blood vessel? Now we can just imagine that if it is imagine a hollow pipe through which water is flowing or water is coming into your house. Now suddenly the water stops coming, or the water is drizzling, or there is difference in the flow of the water. What will you do? You will go and check if something is blocking the blood or your pipeline. The same way, these fatty substances and fibrous tissue gets accumulated in the arterial wall. Now what happens? First of all, this artery is there for a purpose. Its purpose is to allow blood flow to it. So when something gets accumulated here, what will happen? The vessel will get narrow, resulting in less blood flow to the area, or it will obstruct the flow of the blood or reduces the blood flow to a particular area or to the myocardium. Alright. Now let's learn about the pathophysiology, or how this fatty substances get accumulated and how it results in obstructing the blood vessel in detail. Okay. Now fatty streaks of lipids, okay, that are deposited fatty streaks of lipid get deposited in the intima of the arterial wall. Intima of the arterial wall is the innermost layer of the artery. Okay, there it gets accumulated, and imagine it's accumulated and it's sitting there. Now then there is no problem that will cause. But some fatty streaks later develop into lesions. Okay, and these lesions can form as early as in your childhood, or in your early life, or perhaps even in your childhood. Okay, these lesions can start forming. Okay, what happens is, when this lesion is formed, an inflammatory response begins when the accumulation of fatty streaks start depositing. Sometimes in later year it forms a lesion, and when a lesion is formed, an inflammatory response is taking place there. Okay, and it causes injury to the vascular endothelium. Alright, this does not happen suddenly, it happens in some years or gradually. Okay, now due to this inflammatory response, now an inflammatory response is initiated. Okay, due to this inflammatory response, inflammatory cells such as monocytes, also called as macrophages, get attracted to these areas. Okay, now when the body knows that there is an inflammation in this area, it will try to do something. So it will send macrophages to this area. Now what this macrophages does, it comes here and it starts to ingest this lipid that is deposited there. Okay, and when it starts to ingest these lipids, what happens is it forms something called as the foam cells. F-O-A-M, foam cells. Okay. Now what happens when these foam cells are formed? They transport these lipids in the arterial wall. Okay. So what happens is this macrophages, it starts to ingest these lipids and forms foam cells. Now what this foam cells does, it transports these lipids in the arterial wall. Okay. And these activated macrophages also, they not only transport this lipid, now what they will do, they will also release some biochemical substances, due to which what will happen, it will further damage the endothelium. Okay. Now it started releasing biochemical substances and it is causing more injury to the endothelium. Okay. Now what happens due to this, it will attract platelets from the different parts of the body. The platelets will come and get attracted there, and this will initiate clotting. Alright. Now will subsequently proliferate within the cell wall and form a fibrous cap. Okay. This lipid will have a core. Okay. On top of that, a fibrous cap will be formed. Okay. Now this lipid is already having a fibrous cap. Okay. And what these fibrous cap deposits are called, they are called as erythemas or plaques. Okay. What will happen, these plaques will furthermore protrude into the lumen of the blood vessels. So imagine this is here some inflammatory response took place due to the biochemical reaction, biochemical substances, more platelets were attracted to this area, and what happens is plaque will form, fibrous cap will form, or these are called as plaques. So when this is the blood vessel and there is a plaque formation, it will furthermore narrow the blood vessel and obstruct the blood flow. Okay. Now these plaques have either a stable nature or they will be unstable. Okay. If this plaque or the fibrous cap will have if this plaque will have a thick fibrous cap, it will not generally be unstable. It will be more stable in the area, and because it will be able to withstand, stable because they will be able to withstand the blood flow and the vessel movement. Okay. And what if it's unstable? And when is it unstable? If the fibrous cap is thin, it won't be able to bear the pressure of the blood flow, or the stress of the blood flow, or the movement of the blood vessel. So what will happen? It will become, this is called as a vulnerable plaque. Now this vulnerable plaque will either it will grow in the lipid core, or it will cause it to rupture. Now when it gets ruptured, there will be hemorrhage in the area. Okay. And if there is a hemorrhage in the area, what will happen? It will result in thrombus formation. Okay. Now this thrombus that was formed may lead to obstruct this blood vessel. Okay. This thrombus that is formed may lead to obstruct the blood vessel and cause acute coronary syndrome or heart attack. There is another term, medical term for heart attack, called as a myocardial infarction. Okay. What happens? First, how does the pathophysiology start? In the early years, there will be some deposit of lipids. Okay. This lipids may be left like that, but or sometimes these lipids gets an inflammatory response. Okay, which damages the endothelium. Okay, due to which what happens? It will cause an inflammatory response. Due to this inflammatory response, it attracts monocytes, also called as macrophages. These macrophages will come to this area, and what they will do, they will ingest these fatty streaks or lipids and and form into foam cells. These foam cells will transport the lipids even more into the arterial wall or the arterial arteries. Okay, these activated macrophages will release biochemical substances that will further damage the endothelium, and it will attract platelets. Now even platelets have come into the area. This initiates clotting. Okay, now the smooth muscle in the wall will either proliferate and form a fibrous cap. This fibrous cap can be either stable or unstable. If it is thick and it can withstand the stress of the blood flow and the movement of the blood vessel, what happens? It will not further cause any more damage. But if it is unstable, if it is thin, it is unstable, it will not be able to bear the stress of the blood vessel and blood flow and the movement of the blood vessel. So what will happen? It will rupture, causing hemorrhage in the area. When the hemorrhage is caused there, it will form thrombus. Thrombus are formed in that area, which will further block the blood vessel. Okay. Now this when the blood vessel is blocked, it results into acute coronary syndrome or myocardial infarction, also called as heart attack. Okay. So how do we come to know a person is having atherosclerosis, or what are the clinical manifestations that this person shows, or symptoms that this person shows? Okay. First we learned that there will be inadequate, because of the narrowing of the blood vessel, there will be inadequate blood flow through a certain area. Now due to this inadequate blood flow to a certain area, what will happen? There will be ischemia. Okay, and that will there will be less oxygen flow to the area, resulting into ischemia. The next one will be because of this ischemia, a person can tell that the person has pain, okay, or angina pectoris. Okay, there can be myocardial dysfunction. There can be sudden cardiac death. The next clinical manifestation is if the patient is already diabetic or the patient is already hypertensive. What happens is the symptoms will be like shortness of breath. The patient will not be able to take, person will not be able to take, will not be able to breathe properly. All right. Okay. And women have symptoms mostly like dyspnea, nausea and weakness. Okay. These are the clinical manifestations of atherosclerosis. Now, for this thing to happen, are there any risk factors? Yes, there are few risk factors. Okay, the first one will be elevated levels of low density lipoprotein or LDL. Okay, the next one is the person will have a known coronary artery disease. Okay, the person will be either diabetic. These are all the risk factors. The people who are already having this may have atherosclerosis in future, or have atherosclerosis because of all these reasons. Okay, they may have peripheral arterial disease. They may even have abdominal aortic aneurysm. All right. The age also matters here. Okay, their systolic blood pressure matters, and if the person is smoking, they have the chance to have atherosclerosis. And there is a symptom called as a metabolic syndrome. Okay, any three characteristics that shows that the person is having any three of these characteristics that I'm going to say, that person will have the metabolic syndrome, such as insulin resistance. Now, what is insulin resistance? This person's fasting plasma glucose will be more than 100 mg per dl. Okay, and will have a abnormal glucose tolerance test. Okay, the next symptom is the person will be having central obesity. Now what is central obesity? The person's waist circumference, if it is more than 35 inches in women and it is more than 40 inches in men, it is called as central obesity. Okay. Now what is next one is dyslipidemia. Okay. If the triglycerides are more than 150 mg per dl and HDL is less than 50 mg per dl in women and 40 mg per dl in men. Okay. Next symptom is if their blood pressure is persistently greater than 130 by 80 mmHg. Not once or twice, persistently there will be more blood, that blood pressure will be more than 130 by 80 mmHg. Okay. If they are in pro-inflammatory state. Now how do we come to know if that person is in pro-inflammatory state? Their C-reactive protein will be elevated. Okay. And if the person is in pro-thrombotic state, how do we come to know that person is in pro-thrombotic state? They are having high fibrinogen level. Alright. And their gender. Alright. Now for this what can be done to prevent coronary atherosclerosis? Because of this we learned that two major diseases like coronary artery syndrome and myocardial infarction can occur. So if this major diseases like these can be prevented, it is good, right? So what can we do to prevent that? First one is we should control our cholesterol abnormalities if we are having. Okay. The next one is weight reduction. If the person is overweight, okay, then we will tell that person or advise that person to reduce weight and also increase physical activity. Now the people with more sedentary lifestyle, the people who are working in offices or who do not have much physical labor, okay, may be more affected due to this. Okay. So we can tell them to reduce their weight and increase their physical activity. Now increasing their physical activity doesn't mean that you go and tell them to leave their job. No, they can either perform some exercises or walk or there are many other solutions to that. Alright. The next one is if the person is smoking. Okay. If the person is smoking a lot, you will tell that person, or if the person is having any other use of tobacco, you will tell the person to stop using it. Okay. Because not only this disease, the use of tobacco can cause many other diseases. Alright. The next one is if the person is hypertensive, you will tell methods to reduce the hypertension, control their BP. Okay. How do you do that? You will tell them to make dietary modifications. You will tell the person to perform some exercises. You will tell the person to reduce stress and anxiety. So there are different other methods that we can use to reduce hypertension or control them. Okay, there is even medical management to most of this. Alright. And the last one is if the person is diabetic, you will tell the person to control diabetes by making dietary modifications, by taking medications at the proper time, checking their glucose levels throughout. Okay. So this is what is all about coronary atherosclerosis. I hope you all understood this topic. Okay. So coronary atherosclerosis causes major problems. So we can try and prevent them as well. Okay. Thank you for watching this video. Bye.